Opposites Attract podcast. This is Sonja Ramirez, your girl, and I'm sitting next to
Miguel Ramirez.
What's up, everybody? How was your day?
How was your week?
How is your life?
Going. And make sure you guys go to our website, oppositesattractpodcast.com. Share it with the people that you know. Like we've said before, the best thing you can do is share this with somebody else. Go to our clips channel, Opposites Attract Podcast Clips on YouTube. Find your favorite clip, share it with somebody else, watch them subscribe, like, comment, all that stuff.
All that stuff.
Yeah, we got all kinds of stuff that has happened since the last podcast.
Yes. But do you want to talk about the recent?
What?
The backyard fighting?
Sure. No. So last week, we left off talking about going to Green Bay and how we almost didn't even get your ticket. So that all worked out amazingly, right?
Yes.
That was perfect. Yeah, like I said in the last podcast, I had forgot to get Sonja's ticket, so I had to get her ticket.
He was trying to leave me
the day before, and we made it all happen. And we ended up realizing that I think we mentioned it on the last one, that we were going to be flying on our anniversary.
Right.
So I landed a couple hours before you got there, and I ran to Walmart real quick, and I picked you up a card.
You did. We should have brought it on.
Yeah. It was a nice card. And then we drove up to Green Bay, and we spent the night up in Green Bay, and we went to the Packers' first practice and the shareholders meeting, and it was our first time ever in Green Bay.
The weather was absolutely beautiful. And what was crazy, not that I really have anything to compare it to, but the stands were packed for practice.
Yeah.
Like all the support, absolutely amazing. And everybody was so nice.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like
everybody in the town was really nice.
Just very kind, and
helpful.
You didn't hear any craziness around you. It's like everyone was there.
Nobody was complaining.
Excited. Yeah, no one.
Yeah.
So that was really cool to see that.
Yeah, there was a guy that so they have like this little runway type thing where all the players are kind of coming from the stadium to the practice field, and there was a guy up against the fence cooking brats like on his chest. He had like a freaking shoulder harness grill, and like I don't know, in the middle of out here that would be insane. You would probably catch on. You'd probably blow up out in Arizona because it's been
pass out.
Insanely hot.
Yes.
But yeah, he's just sitting there cooking brats, like walking around.
Yes.
It was fun. And then seeing the stadium, like being inside and going to the shareholders meeting, which was something that was pretty fun because you could tell that it's not something that other teams do because they have owners. And this is like, it is what it is. Like it's a shareholders meeting. So they're kind of telling us about the team. They made like a little commercial of the last season and how we ended off and how well Jordan Love was doing and who they're bringing back and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. It's, feeling a part of something. It's that community. It's that tribal, right?
Yeah. And the history of the team.
Yeah. Like you walk around the stadium and there's a certain feel to it, right? Like
Lambeau Field.
Ownership.
Yeah.
Right? You and I were talking about that.
Yeah.
We were there and you can see like everybody. It's
pride.
it's great to feel a part of something.
Yeah. Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, and the cheese curds.
And the cheese curds.
And the cheese curds. Like,
man.
So good.
So that was in Milwaukee. I mean, in Green Bay too, I'm sure. Yeah. We didn't get a chance to, did we get food in Green Bay? We may not have, because we like drove up. We were only in Green Bay for one day, and we were there for the practice and the shareholders meeting. I don't know if we got food in Green Bay. I don't think we did.
I don't think we did.
Because we had all the food really in Milwaukee.
Yes.
That's funny. Not funny. We got to go back and have food in Green Bay, because I'm sure it was great. But the food in Milwaukee was freaking awesome.
Right.
The cheese curds that we had. Yeah.
Yes. And being able just to walk the streets, enjoying the weather and the architecture, the homes, it was mind blowing. Like I was not expecting that.
The bridges, the drawbridges. You like the drawbridges.
Right.
We also saw the church, the St. Joseph's Basilica. Basilica or something. Yeah.
that there was mind blowing.
Yeah.
The details.
Yeah.
You walk in and it's just to think that was like hand painted.
Yeah. Yeah. And just, hand built. Yeah. It's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
That's something that, for those of you that have listened for any length of time, know how I feel on religion and all that kind of stuff. But the churches and even still religion itself, like I find it interesting, because even though I may not believe it, it's still part of our history, part of our human nature, and there's a friend of mine from work that is very religious, and he had mentioned something one time about how it takes a person to be inspired by God or like divinely inspired to build something like that. And I was like, damn, like that's a crazy thought that without religion, you wouldn't have a building like this.
Right.
And
there's so many
because
like
and
that.
we were talking about it when we were there, like there's other examples of like great work, right? Like you can look at a skyscraper, but there's something different about a church and a skyscraper. You know what I mean? It's just different. It's pretty cool though.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And we happened to be there during a time when they were having like a concert for this giant company, and we saw like fighter jets that just happened to be like doing an air show flying over. We were having dinner and freaking lightning bugs were just like flying around. Like you had never seen them before.
That was my first time.
Dude, it was perfect. The weather was incredible,
Yes. And then I asked you, I'm like, what was your favorite part? Like, what was, your favorite part of the whole vacation?
Yeah.
And you said spending time
it's
with
hard.
you.
It was hard to pick up like a certain part of it, but it was just being with you, being able to spend time with you and just walk around the city with you and go grab some food and just hang out with you.
And I remember South Carolina.
It was the same thing.
Remember when we were eating and it was just like drizzling? It's like, are we in a fucking movie right now?
Like, we were just like, at a certain point, it started drizzling so lightly that it's not even going to get you wet. And we just like look at each other like, what is happening right now? What is happening right now? And that could have been like when we were sitting having the cheese curds, just kind of like playing with the birds and shit. Oh my God. Dude. We went to these the domes in Milwaukee. If you guys get a chance to go to Milwaukee, definitely check out the domes. It's like this like a botanical garden greenhouse type thing, and each dome, they had 3 different domes, and each dome was different. So they had one that was like a rainforest, which was incredible. We spent the most amount of time in there. They had one that was like the desert, which was very similar to how it is here. We spent about 30 seconds in there. And then they had another one that was kind of like a cross in between. No, we did spend time in the other desert one. They had like Africa, and they had like different places. So they did have some different stuff, but it was very similar to what we have. And then they had kind of like a cross between. Right. And they had some like carnivore plants that were kind of cool.
Yeah. No, it was a great time.
Dude, awesome, quick little vacation. Workcation.
It didn't feel quick though.
No.
Right? Like it was perfect.
Yeah.
It was perfect.
When there's something that has kind of come up, and I've mentioned it, like about life being random, right? Mm-hmm. And recently you were saying that life is like a mystery. Mm-hmm. But it was also kind of like one of these things, like it's just a mystery because like some things just are weird at just how they work out. And when we were at the Packers practice, like every once in a while I have these thoughts. I have it with sometimes with like a homeless person. It's just like, what is their story? Like what landed them in this position right now, And then there was one where we were sitting at the Packers practice, and there's one of the players, and you can see like he's a young guy, probably new to the team. He's got his headphones on, and he's just kind of like messing around with a football. And then like a kid comes over, and he's like maybe 11 or 12, and those two start playing catch. And then I'm just thinking, like, what is that kid's story? How does he get to play catch with a professional NFL player? Mm-hmm. Maybe he's the son of a coach. Maybe he's the son of somebody that works there. I mean, that's probably what it is. He's the son of somebody that works there, plays there, something, right?
Yeah.
And that's his story, is that growing up, he played catch with NFL players. And you hear that as like stories of other NFL players, that they were around players as kids or whatever, which if you really think about it, makes it more real.
Sorry, I'm looking for something.
For anybody that wants to do that. That's a way more realistic. Like, it's harder to tell somebody that has been around it that that's not real when they were there.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, no, I've seen them work. Like, my dad was the equipment guy. My dad was whatever, you know, and I used to play catch with these guys. But, I mean, that's a different thing. But just like how random, like, he is him, I'm me, and I'm in the stands, and he's out there playing. And when you kind of think about stuff in that way, what makes somebody better than somebody else, if that is the case? Like, you could look at them like, oh, they're players, they're this, their status in life is whatever it is. But if life is random, then really, what does it matter? That means that we're all equal. Regardless, I could be homeless.
So, yeah, I received some news that a close cousin of mine has passed away, and there was something going on. Like, sorry, you guys, I'm looking for a post, and I just lost it. Anyways, and he was very young. You know, we were about the same age. And the other day, I had read you the post that I put up.
Yeah.
And I never even thought how similar what I wrote, and I'll read the post. Like, the wording that I used was very close to the wording you use. As life is random.
Is if you just change a couple words, you could replace the words.
Right. Yeah. So I wrote a post for him, and it's just thinking about why some of us live and some of us die. Like, why some of us go through pain, why some of us go through suffering, and some of us don't. And I was really in heavy thought about this, and I'm like, I need to release this. Like, I need to let it out, because I was feeling, I was sad. I was grieving the loss of him. And so I write this with a heavy heart. I got news that my cousin Ray Jr. has passed. Him and I were about the same age. I remember playing hide and seek, red light, green light, and Red Rover together. He loved to sing, and he had the biggest smile. I always remembered him having I remember him having a temper, and when he got pissed, everyone would run. And when I wrote that, I just started laughing inside, because I remember me, my cousin Teresa, my brother, and his brother. I don't know what we did to him, but we did something, teasing him something, and he got pissed. And when he gets pissed, yeah.
He was going after all you guys.
I just remembered us just all scattering, like running from him. I don't know what happened, and I don't know why the shift took place. Stories were shared, but no one really knows the truth. Life is a mystery. The journey is a mystery. Why bad things happen to good people, a mystery. Why illnesses affect a person who eats well and works out is a mystery. Why some get addicted to drugs. Some live and some die. Why some die in car accidents and others live. It's all a mystery. We can spend our entire lives seeking for answers. We can spend our entire lives blaming, hating, and holding on to the darkness that will create an illness or imbalance of some sort within. Or we can choose love. We can choose to be the light. We can choose to become the person we were created to be, living every moment in the now, seeing through our eyes with love. I'm grateful for the time I had with him and the memories. I am happy that he is no longer suffering. I know that physically he is not with us, but he is in spirit. I also believe he is now with his sister Renee. That's what I believe. Loving you, life is a mystery. And I write this because there's so many people within our family, like their hearts are just broken. And there's a lot of blame. There's a lot of pointing fingers. There's just a lot of that. We don't know what happened. We don't know the truth. The only one that knows is him, and he's no longer with us.
Yeah. The way I always see it is that even if you're living in the same house, you guys have your own stories. You went through different things. You see life through your own lenses and whatever. But ultimately, if you were them in their position, like, you would literally be them, and you would end up in the same position, making the same decisions, doing the same shit. Like, you wouldn't be any different, and that can give you some empathy, Yeah. Because of think about the things that they've been through.
Yeah.
Like, you being you might be strong enough to handle those situations, but them being them, and if you were them, maybe you wouldn't, and you would fold, and you would crack and whatever, or maybe you would be stronger, maybe, it would be different. It is what it is.
I thought about, my sister's death, and there was a lot of anger, and there was a lot of blame. There was a whole lot going on. And for myself, I didn't feel that. I had empathy for the one that was being blamed.
What do you mean?
For her death. Because it was her choice. It was her decisions.
Yeah.
Though I was angry with her. Because we had a close relationship.
Right. You had an expectation.
Mm-hmm. But then when I started going through and recognizing that I didn't know the truth, I didn't know the whole story.
Yeah.
I didn't know the whole story. I have no idea what happened, what was going on within her. I didn't live there. I was not her. And when I started to really look within and just, no, I didn't know the truth. That's when the anger started to release.
Yeah.
And empathy came in. And it is what it is.
Yeah. Yeah, it's difficult. But ultimately, it's something we talk about a lot is acceptance. Just acceptance of what is. And that is kind of like going back to what you were talking about, life being a mystery, and saying that life is random, is kind of that acceptance of it is what it is.
So.
And that is one of the hardest things for people. Because if you look at prayer, what is prayer when you think of, I'm praying for you, pray for me, pray for others? It's asking for something. But if you're asking for something, is that acceptance of what is? It's going to happen. Regardless of the prayers or whatever. So it's like almost asking for it is like non-acceptance.
I see what you're saying.
Right?
I'm going to steal a quote from Bruce Lee, and I'm going to make it my own because I changed the wording.
Okay.
So, a woman who is unaware is walking in the dark. A woman who is unaware is walking in the dark and will never see the light. By Sonia Ramirez.
You're a dork.
Bruce Lee says a man who is unaware. I just changed it to a woman.
What is it? A man who is unaware?
Yeah. A man who is unaware is walking in the dark and will never see the light.
Yeah.
But I changed it to woman.
There you go.
Yeah.
Nice. Nobody will ever know.
So now I can claim it.
Definitely. Nobody will ever know. Especially since we didn't record it and put it out anywhere.
Yeah. But what does that mean to you? Like,
yeah.
It's almost like ignorance.
Yeah. You have to seek that knowing, the knowledge, that weird shit we were talking about last week that we couldn't put our vocabulary on. It's very hard to define, you know. But that is like the acceptance of what is the randomness of life, of the unknown, of yeah.
Yeah.
But that's why with that randomness, it's hard to like pinpoint beliefs when you understand that life is a mystery. Life is random. I mean, even if you believe, like, let's say you're a hardcore religious person, it's still random that why did you end up being you with your belief and me with my belief? Why wasn't it the other way around?
And some of it is not so random. Because if you grow up if your parents are religious, then you may follow that.
You could have rebelled too.
Right.
You know, that happens to people too. So
the conditioning.
Yeah.
But yeah, I see.
But yeah, no, it was an awesome trip. Awesome to be able to get away and spend a little bit of time together. Also, while we were gone, the kids started school. We have our daughter who just started her sophomore year of high school, and our son is getting started in junior high. And
oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy just watching them grow up.
I brag about them all the time. Like we have such beautiful, loving, kind children.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. Whenever I speak about Audrey and like I'm sharing, because we'll talk about our kids, and I share that till this day, oh my God, this morning, I'm sitting at the table and she's as tall as me, 15 pounds lighter than me.
And she's sitting on your lap.
And she sits on my lap. And I'm like, I can't see over her.
No, her head's higher than yours. Yeah, she's like, your head's like on her back.
She's like towering over me. And she's just like plop, and there's times where, she's a big girl, where I'm like, get off.
Your legs are falling asleep.
Right. And then there's times where I'm just like, just
enjoy
take this in. Take it in.
I was going to take a picture of you guys
today.
It's
not, I don't feel that. I feel she's going to be 32 still. Sitting on my lap.
Trying to sit on your lap. Yeah.
Right. They hold our hands.
I know. I was just cuddled up with Joey, giving him hugs, and Audrey. And yeah, that's just how we are.
And people are surprised though. Like when I say that she's 15, I'm like, yeah. And she's still that way.
There's before we get into anything else, because I want to get into something about just doing stuff. Mm-hmm. Part of it is just doing these things. Like if you just had dinner together, it would have an impact. If you just started hugging the kids more or being more affectionate, just starting, like sometimes it's like you got to be in the right mindset and you got to start doing things, and they start having an impact, and that's really all it takes for a lot of things in life. Mm-hmm. But before we get into that, make sure you guys go to our website, oppositesattractpodcast.com. Share it with people that you know. Like, comment, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. Turn the notifications on, whatever. Do
whatever.
You guys know what.
You guys know what to do.
Fucking, you guys listen.
Just do it.
You guys listen to enough of this shit. Do what they tell you to do. All right? Do that for us. Whatever they tell you, do that for us. And if you want to help out the show, you can click on the support the show tab, and that'll take you to our Amazon link. And anything that you purchase through that link on our website, oppositesattractpodcast.com, doesn't cost you anything extra, and it helps us out. Just whenever you're doing your shopping on Amazon, click through that link. And if you want to help us out in a different way, you can do that by going to
buymeacoffee.com/oppositepod and buy us a virtual drink. And you can subscribe to that on a monthly basis as well.
There you go. So, we went to some backyard fights this yesterday. And, dude, it was fun.
Let's share before we even talk about the experience itself. When Miguel first asked me, sometimes it's hard for me to watch like MMA when there's all kinds of blood and crazy happening, right? And so we were going to take the kids, but the kids said no. And I'm like, okay, I'm fine with that, right? Because I'm still imagining like this is going to be crazy.
Yeah.
Right? There's going to be blood splattering everywhere.
Like we're going to be in the splash
I don't know
zone.
Like if people are going to be drinking there. Like I'm just
you don't know what to expect.
I'm thinking just chaos, right? And I'm like, but because I was not like, I'm like, I want to go. But then part of me was like, right?
Yeah. Like you don't know what to expect.
Yes. But I'm like, you know what? I've never experienced anything like this.
And it's not anything that...
And you're going to be with me.
And it's not like a typical experience, right?
Right.
This isn't something that you get usually. Hey, you want to go to Top Golf? It's like, you know what the fuck? You're not going to backyard fights.
Right. So we went.
Go fucking Top Golf this weekend? It's like, no. We're going to go watch fucking fights in the backyard. Right? It's funny, but that's what it was. But what was making me kind of think of it is like, that thought is crazy. Right? Like when you think about signing up, like there's a group of people that are down, and it's like people from wherever. It's not just people from around here. If you want to fight and put knuckles in somebody's mouth, you can sign up for these guys' list and they will match you up with somebody.
Right.
And you guys can do your freaking thing. You know, and it's what you expect is like just some savage shit. Right. And don't get me wrong, there is nothing pretty about going to a backyard fight. It is what it sounds like, but the environment is not what you would expect.
Yeah. And it's structured though too.
It was fun. Like everybody was having an awesome time. The camaraderie between everybody fighting was incredible. It wasn't like mean mugging and you know, like this tough guy against that tough. Like everybody.
There was like respect.
Yeah, yeah, like respect between everybody. No issues at all. Like people picking each other up. Respect between the fighters. People were cheering for their people. But it was just awesome all the way. It was hot as shit. It was in Arizona in July. It was hot as shit.
I was sweating in places I didn't know I could sweat.
The fights were incredible. You had like amateurs that like probably haven't fought hardly at all. Yeah. And you had some people that had fought some, and you can tell. And dude, it was incredible. But the
tacos were good.
The tacos were awesome.
Dude, those tacos
oh
were
my
good.
God. So when we were there though, like we start watching these fights, and before you go, like as we're going to the place and thinking about this in your head, if you've never even, first of all, while we're talking about this, go on YouTube and look up Street Beefs West Coast. And there's also the original Street Beefs channel, but check out Street Beefs West Coast, which is where we were at. And then that's like their, backyard fighting channel. But when you're thinking about it, it sounds like an insane thing to do.
Right.
Like to sign up for. To like, I'm going to go fight somebody, some other random person, I don't even know who, in somebody else's backyard.
Right.
I'm just going to show up on this date and we're going to fight. Maybe I get knocked out. You know, like you have no clue what the hell is going to happen. And then when you show up, well, we were kind of talking with the ref there, right? Mm-hmm. And we were talking about how like before you show up and in your mind, you're making this thing out to be like, I'm going to die in there, right? Like that's what's going to happen. I'm going to go and then this dude's going to hit me with like a shot. I'm going to get a little bit dizzy like in the movies. I'm going to see like 3 of them. And then all of a sudden he's going to hit me with one that I don't see coming. And then it's like lights out. My face is in the dirt. The lights start closing. You know, it's like that kind of shit. But then when you start watching people fight, you're like, okay, there is a chance that you're going to get knocked out.
Right.
But that's still rare. Like it actually kind of looks like it might be fun. Like they were having fun in there.
No, they were.
And it's like, it's not as bad as I was making it out to be. In it you know, right. Don't get me wrong. I'm not fucking signing up for it or
That's
anything.
What I'm saying. It takes a certain type of person to do that.
But even still, you're making it out to be way bigger in your head than it is.
But don't we do that with everything?
Yeah. But at the end of the day, like, how do you end up getting in there? By doing it. Mm-hmm. By signing up. By just taking that first step. Mm-hmm. And, I mean, who knows? Like, you see the way they do it. They're not going to match you up with a professional. They're going to match you up with somebody of your similar age and skill. Maybe I'll do it one day once. I don't know. Whatever. But that's it. It's like it's taking that first step. And then once you do it, then you realize like, oh shit. There's a twofold type of thing. Because you're there and you're an amateur or whatever. And you're like, wow, like that was actually fun. I could do this. It wasn't as like now that it's over. I wonder if I trained a little bit, if I could get a little better. But then you also are there and you watch other people fight and you're like, I wouldn't want to fight those guys. So if I wanted to fight those guys, I would have to get, but you can kind of see like how you can build yourself up. But it's like that with everything in life.
Right.
It's just everything seems fucking scary.
Or difficult.
Yeah. And it's like you just got to start taking the first couple steps.
Right.
You know, and at the end of the day, you're going to pay. And this is what I wanted to kind of bring this back to, because we were talking about school and the kids, and Joey was talking about school, and he was talking about how he has a friend that has had some issues with school, and he's been getting picked on. He's been getting bullied. And he was saying that I told, well, what is my first thing? It's like, your friend should do jujitsu. You know, right. And he's like, my friend tried jujitsu, but it was tough. It was tough and he didn't like it. You know, and then I was kind of talking to Joey. I'm like, dude, no matter what, I was like, you don't really enjoy jujitsu. It's hard on you. Like, you don't like getting beat up, like, whatever. Now, you can tell that if you were to focus and practice and really pay attention, that you can get better, and you can tell that you could get some confidence, some discipline, because you can see there's other kids in the class that they're little. They're smaller, but they can fight against the big kids, and they don't give a shit. They throw down against everybody. And at a certain point, you have this confidence about you because you're down for whatever. Kind of like it seems so scary to get into this freaking wooden pallet box and fight. But I'm sure once you do it, there's a confidence about you that, fuck, I did that. And it's not as scary as I thought it was going to be.
Yeah. And
when you do it on a regular basis, then who the fuck is going to get in your face? It's like, bitch, I do this. Right? Now, it's tough. It's very hard to develop yourself into a person that is down for whatever like that. But it's also tough to just deal with getting picked on and being bullied. Like for how long? How long is that going to last? You know, because the other one is going to be hard until a certain point. Like training is always hard. But once you develop that confidence, like you're good. You're good to go. You're only going to be paying that price for a certain amount of time. But this other one, this lack of confidence of getting picked on, of being bullied, I mean, who knows how long that lasts? That probably lives within you forever.
Right.
As a man, that's tough.
And I can see how, I mean, that's traumatizing, right?
Yeah. I mean,
and you grow up and it's something that's sitting within you.
There are certain things that as a man, as a like part of our roles in society, in our tribes, in our family, and whatever, as the one that is the security, the protector, to not, I don't know, man, times are changing. Fucking dudes do all kinds of crazy ass shit. But I think there is a part of most men that, I don't know, you kind of have to, you want that. You may not get it, but you want that.
And I almost feel that was something that's implanted into a man, but things have gotten so soft.
So okay, so let's turn this a little weird, because not weird, but like in a different direction, because we were watching a show while we were out about the Roman Empire, right? And you see like the way people were back then, and like they were down to fucking kill their brothers, sleep with their sisters. They were down to do some crazy ass shit. They were killing parents. They were killing
for status,
to take over shit. Like, yeah, it's the shit that people are willing to do is just
from money and power. That's what that was for.
Yeah.
Status.
What were we getting at?
You wanted to turn something crazy. You were about to get crazy.
It was just like the...
You were talking about the role the man plays.
Oh, yeah.
And
like that feeling of being a protector and all that. But like how times change. Like in a tribe, I could see how you want to have that.
Right.
That confidence in yourself of being strong. But maybe it's like once you get into like a little community, you can start noticing that you don't have to be the strongest. You can start using manipulation. Isn't that?
That's what they were. Yeah.
Like that's like once you start getting enough people together, it doesn't have to be like survival of the fittest. Maybe that's what makes us human. Is that ability to it's like the yin and the yang of consciousness. Right?
Right.
It's like that awareness and that ability to see the good and the great in everyone. And the yang is that ability to be able to pick up on that stuff and take advantage of all of it. Because we can do that too. Shit's getting crazy, but I don't know. Right?
Yeah, you got to be smart enough to pick up on that.
But I don't know. But as far as like that security thing, I don't know, because like at a certain point, it's like maybe what your value, like for me, I have that feeling of wanting that confidence or whatever. But for somebody else, it's like, I just want to know that I can
outwit.
Exactly. You know what I mean? Like that's, right. I don't know. That's some fucking great. That's like a TV show, right? That's like different characters in a TV show.
It's like survival of the fittest or survival of the.
It is, right? It's like different characters. Kind of like the way I see it is like Game of Thrones, right? Like you have, what was that bald dude that had no balls?
Oh gosh. Oh yeah,
right?
That's right.
Right?
I don't remember his name, but he was
that was playing everybody.
Yep. Yeah,
he's not worried about being the strongest
it's like,
or whatever.
you guys can all kill each other.
And I'm going to sit back and watch.
You. I'm just going to plant those seeds
Yep.
and sit back and watch you guys kill each other. And I'm going to be the last one to remain.
You never know where we're going on this fucking podcast.
I don't even know how we got into that.
Anyway.
Well, yeah, I do. You. No.
But yeah, dude, it was, so we ended up going to the, I was talking to Joey about the, like either way you're going to pay, right? And
that's with everything.
And I ended up getting into that with him too, like about saving money, about health, about all of it, like you're going to pay one way or another. And a lot of times when you want the instant gratification, you're going to pay long-term for that for the rest of your life. Yeah. And if you're disciplined now, you'll be okay later. That's just how it goes, But
could you imagine like just having like that self-discipline, like just naturally just having that self-discipline and being able to where it becomes easy? Like, does it ever become easy? Like, does it ever become easy? Like when you start to reprogram the subconscious mind by becoming consciously aware.
Yeah.
Do you just become that and it just becomes easy?
There might be ways to.
Let me know.
I'm sure there's techniques.
Do you know someone who just has it all down, right? Eats healthy, goes to the gym, is self-disciplined, does the thing.
David Goggins.
Right?
I don't know.
Yeah, but
he's always extreme in one direction.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, there's always extremes, but he seems pretty extreme and balanced in a way. I don't know. But
does he ever fall off though? You understand?
I'm sure everybody falls. That's part of the deal though. Yeah.
Right? Because if you don't fall off, it's almost like you're not human.
Yeah.
Or it's like that small percentage of people that are just like crazy. No.
That's what it's a spectrum.
Or is it just a constant?
That's what I'm saying. It's a spectrum of shit because like for some people, they're more towards that end than others. And we all know people on different ends of the spectrum. Some people don't do shit.
And, they say it takes 14 days.
What was that? That was from the movie Office Space when he's like, what would you do with $1 million? He's like, I'll tell you what I would do with $1 million. 2 chicks at the same time. And he's like, because I think I could pull that off if I had $1 million. And then the other guy's like, what would you do? He's like, nothing. He's like, you don't need $1 million to do nothing. He's like, look at my cousin. He's broke. Don't do shit. Right?
Yep. Yeah.
You don't need money to do nothing.
I forgot what I was just going to say.
Sorry. Backyard fights?
No, it wasn't about that.
But we did go to some.
Mm-hmm. We did. Oh, so like being in a relationship. And one is focus, wanting to eat healthy, working out. And then the other one is like, let's play, let's have fun. Right? Like it's very difficult to be on the same page when one is focused and then the other one is not focused.
Yeah.
It makes it that much more difficult.
Yeah. That's for sure.
So being sure that you're on the right page will give you a little bit of a easier start and finish if you have your significant other that you were able to get his buy-in or her buy-in.
Yeah. Or at least not their unsabotage, like ask them not to sabotage you. Because, dude, it's easy for us to sabotage each other.
No, it is.
You know what I mean?
And I've been doing
terrible.
So well.
I'm terrible. I could sabotage you because I'm like, I want that shit so bad. I want the bad food and all that stuff.
Because before I was having a little bit of it.
But
right?
it does seem like, I mean, with the working out and everything, like we've talked about so many times, it does bleed into everything else. Like being on 100%. Track with working with everything. And that is, something that helps get everything else on track. You start working out, then you start reading more, you start meditating, you start, getting back on your routines, and it all helps. But yeah. What I was going to say is I'm getting back on some routines. I just signed up for a jiu-jitsu tournament in October. Kind of got inspired by the backyard fights and all the other stuff that I've been doing. But no, it's time for me to compete, and I'm already in good shape, but it's time. I got a couple months to kind of get in better shape and really focus on my training and kind of like plot everything out. I have trips and everything that I have to do, but if I have everything planned out, I can do it without making excuses. Like I can make all this shit happen and have a successful tournament, Yeah. And that doesn't mean winning and getting a gold medal and whatever the hell. It means just doing the best I can do,
Right.
And yeah, so going to these backyard fights was a hell of an experience. It was awesome. It was awesome checking out, just all these different people from different places. Like there was people coming from Vegas. There was people from everywhere fighting. Yeah. What'd you think?
I liked it. It was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Different experience. Hot as shit though.
Yeah.
But no, it was a good experience. Like I said, you got to try everything at least once. No.
Yeah.
But I would go again. And I would like the kids to go actually.
Yeah, that's what you were saying. So at first it was kind of like,
I don't know if I want, right.
You don't know if you want to take
I didn't push it.
Right.
But I think that it would be a good experience for them to see how the respect, right? Like especially Joey, because Joey in jiu-jitsu, right? He doesn't want to make anyone feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Right? And he doesn't really have like to fight like that. He has such a kind, loving heart. Like that's just not right. But if he sees this, and he sees the respect and the love, and boxing is different than jiu-jitsu. You can choke someone out in jiu-jitsu. Boxing, you're punching someone's face.
You could break somebody's nose.
Like it's for real. And then after you see them, right after the fight, they're hugging or like, dude.
Yeah.
You're a solid puncher. Like, right? Like I remember watching one of the fights and the dude was like, dude, you hit hard.
Yeah. Right? Yeah. Yeah. He was telling
good
his
job.
opponent.
He's like, good job.
Yeah. And I was telling Joey that with his friend and, him getting picked on in school is that whole confidence thing, because at the end of the day, they can say something. But if you say like, look, shut up or do something, at the end of the day, that's all if you have the confidence and the skill to be able to just say that, shut up or do something, is going to, for one, let the other kid know like, oh shit, I'm going to have to fight, And if they say something else, you just repeat yourself, shut up or do something. If you're not going to do anything, then just keep your mouth shut.
Right.
And it makes them look like a bitch. So, and it doesn't make you, you don't have to be like some tough guy, or you don't have to be like calling names back or doing anything. It's just shut up or do something. That's it. But that only comes from fighting,
And having yeah. Right. And it still is difficult when you don't have that in you. Like you don't feel like you don't want to hurt someone. And I know this because I am that. And I remember I was in high school and there was this girl, gangster, right? LCM. And gangsta, like for real.
Teardrops.
And she was jealous. I had a boyfriend, broke up with him. Then she started dating him, but he still wanted to get back with me, but there was nothing going on. Like I had moved on already. And I remember I'm going out, I'm dressed, I'm with my cousin Teresa, and Teresa even knows of this girl because everybody's like, oh, she's a badass. Like everybody was scared of her, right?
Yeah.
Big Indian, right? I didn't say that.
Yup. Feathers, everything.
Right? Like I'm little. She's huge.
Oh,
and so I remember like we were at 7-Eleven.
Yeah.
Taking some money out. And all of a sudden, here she comes walking out the door. Talking shit. We're about to go out, have a good time. We're with two guys, right? I'm like, no way. Like, for real?
This is when it goes down.
And dude, she just wouldn't let up.
Yeah.
And I'm like, either I'm going to do something or I'm going to look like a bitch.
Yeah.
Right?
That's what it comes down to.
And yeah, you know, the stories that were created of her, I was scared. You know what I'm saying? She's bigger.
And it's not.
And I'm not one, like, I've never had boxing lessons or anything like that. I've always been really good, like, just knowing my weight.
All right.
Like, just,
all right,
right?
take it easy.
No.
All right.
But she did not beat my
Tyson.
ass. Like, she did not beat my ass.
Yeah.
I don't know how I ended up on her. Right?
You just saw red.
And banging. Like, I don't, because I'm little, I don't know. You know, I think because I charged her first. Because I knew that if she was going to come at me, then I was going to, and she gets on me, that's going to be a problem.
Yeah.
But she ended up taking my purse.
That's what I'm talking
Which had everything with me. She's like, I remember her saying this, who's got who now? And then I became a victim of identity theft. I had my social in there.
Oh, shit. You never got your purse back?
You think she was going to give me my purse back?
Oh.
There was no money in there. Damn. Right? I had, because we just got out. So I had the debit card in my pocket. I had what I needed in my pocket.
Damn, that sucks.
You know? But
damn, you kicked their ass, but she got your purse.
Yeah. And my cousin Teresa was like, see? You know, like because even Teresa, like all of them, she's like, see?
They should have jumped on her. They should have jumped on her, got the purse, took her purse.
But it took a lot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it took a lot for me to do that. Because inside, I still didn't want to.
Yeah.
You know? So I understand, like, how he feels. So that's why I think that if we take him to this backyard fight, that he'll see.
It's not as scary, or it's not as bad.
You know?
Then somebody's like splashes blood on him. And he'll be like, I'm not fighting anybody ever. Oh, shit.
And you just never know, especially being a boy.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Just especially being a boy.
He's going to get into scraps.
Don't know.
You know, and it's like, you know, people talk about it a lot for like men, but it's like, maybe it's animals. It's animals. Animals fight.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's not men. It's animals fight. Like, you look at females in other species, like, they fight too. They piss each other off, and what do they end up doing? They end up fighting and ripping each other's limbs off, and, you know, it's just what living things do.
Yeah.
Actually, on the way to the airport, when we were going on our trip, we had a nosy Uber driver. Me and you were having a conversation in the back, and I was telling you something about like how living things, they're always just fighting to survive. Like, they're fighting to survive and they're reproducing. Like, that's all we are trying to do is fight. And if you're dying, you don't want to die. You want to stay alive so that you can reproduce some more, and then you'll die later. And then like, once you start living, then you want to fight other things, which probably helps you reproduce more because there's less of them, more of you. Your stuff grows longer for further. I don't know. But we were sitting there talking about stuff, and the Uber driver just jumps in. He's like, yep, that's me. You know, I was like, what? This dude's just listening to our conversations.
Right.
You know, but
really quick before because we got to go. When we were in Green Bay, I don't know if you picked up on this, but we were talking about, we were in a conversation and you had a question about something, and I'm like, or there was something, and I'm like, well, why don't you go ask him? Right. And you're like, I don't feel the need to talk to everybody or something like that.
Yeah.
You were telling me that. And then the guy, it was so funny because you and I, we were having a disagreement. And
this dude was listening.
And I'm like, well, it's not that I feel the need to talk to everybody, but that's who I am. Like, I like people. I like talking to everybody.
Yeah.
And while we're having this conversation, the guy in front of us, he probably felt so stupid when he thought about what he did, turns around and he's like, yeah, besides, you don't want to talk to everyone anyway. Like some people are jerks.
There's a bunch of assholes out there.
Right.
Or something like that.
But he was listening to our conversation and just turned around and said,
and butted into our conversation.
Right. Kind of proved a point
and
a
I'm
bit.
like, fucking great. Fucking great. And I got some other fucking dude listening. Like, I didn't want to talk to anybody, period. Now this dude fucking turns around. Get out of here.
I just wanted to laugh. That was so funny.
Oh, shit.
But he probably didn't even think about, like, the conversation we were having was directly about that. And then he turns around and makes a comment. Not wanting to talk to people. Right?
Yeah.
And he probably, I'm just like, oh, that poor dude's probably like, you stupid ass. That's what they were talking about. And then you have to go talk to them.
Oh, that's so funny. That's funny because I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, fucking great. Now I got this guy fucking listening in on our shit.
Oh, that's so funny.
Like, I don't even want to be having this conversation to begin with. Now this guy's fucking talking to me about it.
I'm like, perfect. It was just funny as shit.
Get out of here, dude.
Everybody always listening to our conversations. It's because we have some really fun, interesting conversations where everyone just wants to butt in.
I should have said that, but get out of here, dude. Then he would be like, she's right. You are an asshole.
Oh, my God.
Oh, shit.
All right. And with that, it's time to go.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
I wanted to tell you guys about where you going.
I have to be somewhere at 5, and I have a 30-minute drive, remember?
Did we get to everything?
No, because I have a lot of stuff.
And with that, make sure you guys go to our website, follow our podcast on all of our different social media, Opposite Pod everywhere. And check out Fighting for Your Life podcast. If you guys want to go to Sonja's retreat or if you guys want a gifting session, make sure you hit us up. Get a hold of us on any of the social media. Go to Sonja's website, SonjaRamirez.com.
Yes.
And
yeah, and you can schedule a call and we can chit chat, give you some information. The retreat's going to be absolutely amazing and beautiful, and I'm so proud of me.
And that's coming up in October.
I'll talk about why I'm proud of me on the next podcast.
Yep, and the retreat will be in October. If you guys want to go to that, hit us up.
Yes. Thank you guys for your love. Thank you for your support. And thank you for watching Opposites Attract podcast.
Where we get better
together.
Bye.
Bye.